Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. This season has come to a close with a Scottish Cup final victory, and it might not be the final we wanted to win, but I am in the opinion that this is still a season to remember. So I am your host, Scott Carney, and joining me is everybody, which is weird because it feels like we've not done this in a long time all sat here. So Ali Pearson, how are you, mate?
Not too bad. I was just saying to you off camera there that last week just took it out of me, by the way. Monday at work was a slog for me there. He's still a slog at the moment, and I could do in my bed, to be honest. It's really good.
I think after the season we've had, mate, there was a lot of kind of end of season blues. It was the last few months were hectic, to be honest, for the end of our season. So yeah, no, and you were in a different country or three different countries actually.
Three countries.
You were three countries, aye. Scotia, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay. Similar to Pearson there, that it's I really drained this week. So hopefully that can go soon enough and get back to a wee bit of normality and reflecting the season a wee bit. And I was thinking it'll be good to have a wee bit of break from the football, but I noticed I was looking at my phone today on live score trying to see what football was on the night. Nothing really tickled my fancy. So
what football is on? I wouldn't even know that. That's how little I
really
pay
a National League playoff or something like that.
Don't worry, Scotia. You've got Scotland coming up soon. The three of us can't wait for that
either. Ryan Haymarsh as well. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, boys. It is strange. The four of us been on. It feels like a long time. Good to see these two back. That'll get the viewing figures up. Read a few tweets about people saying that is anybody feeling bad since they get back from Seville, and do you think we've caught something? And people feeling a bit lethargic. It's called a hangover. I've been to Cheltenham, many stag do's, many boys' holidays. It's a hangover. You'll be okay in a couple of days, lads.
Yes, they will be okay. I think, without going into the whole story again, after I met you boys on a stag do, when I came back from that stag do, it took me 4 or 5 days to feel normal, and we were only away for 3 nights, I think. So, yeah, it's a hangover. It is definitely a hangover. So, yes, first off, congratulations to our winners of the draw last night, and thank you for everyone for the really kind words of support for us doing it and understanding why we've done it. So, yeah, really appreciated, and the feedback's been great for it. Congratulations to the winners. Everybody's got in contact with me now to say that they've got it, and it's all good. So, brilliant for that. You can join the channel for only 99p via the YouTube channel. You can buy the podcast a coffee and or become a Coffee Buying Legend member via the Buy Me a Coffee website. Thank you to who you will all know as GR986 in the comments for the coffee. He bought us one last night, so very much appreciated for that, and thank you for supporting us that way. And you can buy a t-shirt, a new one of which has just been added to our collection, with more coming in the kind of coming month. I would think over the next month there'll be another 2 or possibly 3. All the links are in the description below, and as always, please do like and subscribe and leave a comment on your thoughts on what we're going to speak about tonight. So, lads, I'm going to rip the plaster off, and we're going to talk about the Europa League final. So, Ryan, I'm going to come to you first because I think you're the only one that hasn't spoke about it on the podcast. Obviously, Ali and Scotia did a reaction from Seville, so I think you're the only one. Not the final we wanted. I still stand by that we were right to be confident, and the team deserved us to feel confident after the run that we had been on. Is it still raw for you, or are you at the stage where you can appreciate the journey and the achievement that it was?
I think Saturday helped heal the wound slightly, but I think I'll be thinking about an opportunity missed for a long time. It does feel like that, I've got to be honest. I know I left about a 2.5 minute voice note the next morning on the group chat. What I thought about the game, and I think it was an opportunity missed. I think the players didn't turn up the way we know they can turn up. I don't think they performed. I think a few people we sat and praised Tavernier on the pod on the Tuesday. He's probably one of the main reasons we got to the final, because his performance levels were exceptional in the Europa League, absolutely exceptional. I thought he had a poor game. I thought Borna was very negative. Thought Lundstrom looked leggy. I just don't think Rangers as a team rose to the occasion, which was so disappointing. And I know probably get people not share my views. I just feel as if they did let themselves down a bit, and I'm trying not to criticise them. I just feel that I think we've beaten better teams than Frankfurt. All due respect to them, they did look decent, but we've beaten better teams than that. We've beaten better teams than that away from home. And it was interesting to hear Lundstrom at the end of the game, and he said that possibly, I don't know the exact words, but he said something along the lines of the occasion maybe got to the players, and it's very hard to play a perform on a stage like that. And maybe that's what happened. The Ryan Kent miss will live long in the memory for me. Yes, the goalkeeper has done well, but it's really straight at him for me. It's not a world-class save. That sums Ryan Kent up. You are getting that's the kind of levels we're at, where Goldson should have cleared the ball, and if that had happened, ifs and buts. If Goldson had cleared it, would we have held on if Kent had scored it? But that's how close we are to winning a European final. I think if we've got somebody with a bit of class, a bit of composure, who has a finish to their game, which Ryan Kent doesn't. I don't see an end product with Ryan Kent a lot. He can beat 5 men and then sky it over the bar. It just sums Ryan Kent up, and it's disappointing, and I do feel as if they let themselves down. But in time, of course I will. It's what a run it's been. It's been unbelievable and a fantastic season in Europe. But yes, I think it's going to be so for a while, Carney.
Yeah, mate. I get that. I think I still get wee flashbacks thinking of it now, and I'm going, oh God. I mean, I was so gutted about it. I did full Scotia on Thursday and went out in a bender. Do you know what I mean? I was off. Like I just had one of the days where I thought, no, I'm not going to deal with this today. I'll leave it another day and I'll just carry on drinking. And it was a real show one. I thought your comment, your wee voice note that you put into the group chat, mate, and the following morning, I thought was superb. And genuinely, mate, I should have probably posted it because it would have done probably better than these two in Seville. But I thought it was spot on, mate. And it was how I felt at the time. The kind of the bridesmaid and the bride comment that you made. I thought we were always the bridesmaid, never the bride, and. Yeah, I could kind of see where you were coming from with that, and it kind of hit home to me at that point. So I'll blame you for me going out in the lash all day on the Thursday, mate. Ali, how are you feeling about it now? Obviously, time has passed, the season is over. I know it was a while ago, but I still thought it was important tonight to kind of speak about it. So are you at the point now where you can appreciate the achievement?
Yeah, I similar to I think the players will look back and weeks to come, or when they're on the holidays and have time to think about it, I think it's a missed opportunity. I thought Rangers, I said to Scotia during the game, I thought they played within themselves, Rangers. I could tell in I turned to Scotia the first 10 minutes, I was like, just don't have a good feeling about it. They just didn't look like the Rangers I'd seen in the previous legs. And I know I harped on about the heat out there. Yeah, the heat was a factor. It was mega hot out there, but I just think certain players didn't come to the party, unfortunately. Never get a better opportunity again. I don't think we ever will. I know we said we'd never see another finals when we were at Manchester, and we did. So, I mean, you never know what will happen in the corner. But in terms of facing a team in a final in Frankfurt, who I thought were decent, I thought they were well organised, but we've beaten better. I thought over the 90 minutes they deserved to win the final, I'll be honest with that. It was disappointing because to go 1-up, you think you've got the goal with no striker. Can we hold on? And again, we've been haunted by that defence again with a goal I've seen umpteen times this season. Goldson just needs to put his little foot through it and grid it. And if he does that, it's like you say, Karen, it's this buts and maybes. And like the Ryan Kent one, a lot of folk keep on about if he'd scored. But I've not seen the replays back that much, but a lot of folk were saying the ball was actually out from Kemar Roof when he played it back across. So imagine if you want to go ifs, buts and maybes, imagine he put it in the back of the net and then VAR ruled it off. It'd be absolute heartbreak. But I've heard a lot of boys saying it was actually out and VAR would have ruled it out. But I've not actually. I don't want to look at it back, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then when it went to penalties, again, says to Scotia, I just didn't fancy us. For a German team as well, they're always good at penalties, and it had to be Aaron Ramsey to miss it. Every man and their dog knew he was going to miss it, but disappointing, but I think in time I'll look back and go extremely proud. The adventure me and Scotia had to go there, the teams we placed, the Leipzig game at Ibrox, fantastic nights for us, and it's disappointing, but football can be, and I said that when me and Scotia done, I think it can be a fantastic sport, but it can be a extremely cruel sport at times, football, and that's football for you, unfortunately. We just need to dust ourselves off, lads, and get into the next season, but I'm just glad I've got a wee 2 months of rest now.
Yeah, your liver's probably thanking you as well, mate, after so I get it, I do. I understand the whole missed opportunity of it, and it was a slow one to take. It really was. If that Kent goal had have been in, I wouldn't have known if I had ruled it out, if I was going to rule it out, because I would have disappeared. You wouldn't have seen me. I would have ran the length of where I was watching it, the whole town, because we would have won it at that point. So, Scotia, is it down to... Is there a number of factors at play here? Is it the heat? Is it that the players were very aware of the treatment that the fans were getting, and or was it just a step too far?
To be honest, I think it probably was the heat played a massive role in that. Because like Ali keeps on saying, you can't describe how hot it was, and I know even where we were in the shade in the stadium we were watching it in, it was still roasting. So in the Sevilla stadium, where there isn't any cover at all, really, the players would have been getting that, the fans would have been getting that, they would have heard what was going on. Obviously, we weren't there, so we can't give you our experience of that. But from what I've heard from other people, it does not sound like a pleasant experience that the fans had leading up to the game. So I think that did play a factor. There was also the Jimmy Bell thing going on there. You know that obviously it was going to be his funeral a couple of days after that can certainly play in people's minds and things as well. So I think it all did sort of contribute to it. And then I think Frankfurt, Kenny, they sussed us out pretty well. I thought they nullified Tav and Kent really well throughout the course of that game. So yeah, I thought I'd reconciled Kenny not getting through, but today I spent some time watching bits and pieces of the game and like the full highlights, and was looking through it. And we had like 6 shots on target to their 4, but they had an awful lot more sort of shots just off target. And just before they'd scored the equaliser, Goldson took a wee slip, and that Kamada boy ran in and nearly lofted it over him. So it was all those wee kind of half chances that were just going wide for them that we had. I think we had maybe like a Rebo in the first had a couple of chances. We could potentially do better with one of the shots that he had. But yeah, when I watched it back today, I was like, I came back to that feeling that we've potentially let ourselves down a wee bit for that. But like I say, there's probably quite a lot of factors for that. And then penalties are a lottery, as we all know. So there's not really much you can do to do for that, because the last 2 penalties that they hit, McGregor wasn't too far off from getting a hand or glove to it. So it's just all these wee inches.
Yeah, Ryan, you spoke about it even before as well, mate, that you need these things to go for you in massive games like that. And I think in the final, they just didn't go for us. It was just one of the ones that it probably went for Frankfurt more than it went for Rangers. And I've yet, and I'm not, this isn't an Aaron Ramsey bashing, by the way, it really isn't, but I have not met one person that when Aaron Ramsey stepped up to hit that penalty thought that he was going to score. I think everybody collectively, even when I was in the pub, when Ramsey walked up, everybody at exactly the same time as soon as he came onto the screen just said his name, like Ramsey, massive question mark, echo, like it comes out above everybody. So it wasn't going to happen. Look, I'm at the stage where I think it is a great achievement. It's a tremendous achievement for where we've been. The story is unbelievable, and it's a Hollywood blockbuster. It really is. It would have been tremendous to have won it. It would have been, again, the best probably night of my life, but it just wasn't to be. And the wee fine margins that we spoke about just probably didn't go our way. But I think we're still, in time, especially over summer, as we start to build up the hype towards next season, I think we'll still look back and think this was a tremendous achievement by us in Europe, and in the nicest possible way, because of the way it happened. They've kind of set themselves a benchmark now, but I fully believe these players believe that they can now compete at this level. So the kind of core of this team are going to know what it takes to perform at this level, and who's to say it can't happen again. I'm not going to say it's going to happen next year, of course I'm not, but who knows? I think nobody will want to play Rangers. Nobody will want to come to Ibrox. Nobody will want us at all. So that's something to be really proud of. Right, enough down and gloom stuff. Scholes, I'll come back to you.
Can I just jump in?
Yes,
Can I
mate.
just jump in? Quick question for you all. And this isn't a criticism in Gio in any way, but certainly the feeling I had was that both Roofe and Ramsey, if they were going to be coming on to take penalties, should have been on 10-15 minutes earlier than they were. I don't know what you thought about that.
I don't know if it's going to make a difference to Aaron Ramsey, to be honest, him missing that penalty or not. Roof's was a decent enough penalty, but I get what you're saying. I do think they should have been on earlier. If Roofe was, surely Roofe could have played a wee bit longer than what he did, and I think he made a difference from when he did come on. So yeah, he probably should have. Maybe that's a bit of a one to take in the chin for Gio. Ryan, what's your thoughts on that?
I agree. I also always say that hindsight's a wonderful thing, because I think it was very obvious that Gio was playing for penalties. I think we could all see it. But as I say, hindsight's a wonderful thing. However, that Frankfurt defence was there to be got at. Mm-hmm. I mean, the goal we scored was a perfect example of they weren't great at the back. And I do think that during extra time, they looked more dead in their feet than we did. We looked like the ones who had a bit more energy about us. And yeah, I think Roofe coming on earlier, maybe have a go, or maybe a ball falls for him, or ifs and buts. But it's, as you say, it's small margins, and hindsight's a wonderful thing. But yeah, I would agree. I would certainly had Roofe on. I'm not a fan of Ramsey anyway, so I wasn't even thinking about him, if I'm honest, but I would have had Roofe on a lot earlier. So I'm being honest. You know, I don't like it.
I know I'm the same, mate. I haven't been impressed by Aaron Ramsey since he arrived here. If I'm going to,
I don't want to say. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't. Not.
No,
like
I know what you mean.
I've not seen this player who's earned a Rangers jersey. That's what I'm saying. He's nowhere near fit. He's miles off it, in my friends' words, and miles off it.
Yeah, Ali, your thoughts on that? Do you think he should have made the substitutes earlier?
Yeah, possibly. I don't like bringing players on to hit penalties. Look at England. England did it. Look how that turned out. So, Kamara Roofe, though, I mean, I agree with Scotia. I would have brought him on, but I mean, he was on the bench for the Scottish Cup final there, and when extra time never appeared. So there must be a reason why he's obviously can't last it. His penalty was all right. I hate there's a wee run up Roofe, but he put it away. He did put it away, but no. Yeah, it is what it is. Penalties. It's a lottery, and you've got to say it about Frankfurt. Their penalties were absolutely outstanding, all 5 of them. So
yeah, they were.
Fair play to them. You've got to say better team the day, Frankfurt, and unfortunately they beat us.
I know. Right, okay. Can we finish negative stuff and get back to more positive stuff now? Because that was a tough one. But we had to speak about it. Scotia, tell everybody about Seville, mate.
Doesn't remember.
Oh, yes. It's all about. No, Seville itself, the whole trip, barring the feeling that after the game on the Wednesday evening, the whole trip was an absolute blast. From when we arrived in Seville just after midnight on the Monday evening, got to our wee apartment on the Tuesday. Tuesday was an absolutely brilliant day. We met Tav's brother and his mum and that when we were in one of the squares, which was just surreal because we just finished recording like a wee video, which I don't think anyone actually seen, because by this point we were definitely on our way at this point, so it was probably unbroadcastable. But yeah, Tuesday night was brilliant. Wednesday, a couple of the guys that ended up staying in the apartment with us, met them sort of around about 11 o'clock out of that square with everyone. Brilliant. On the Wednesday, what I would say is we'd bought tickets for the auditorium place, which were like €47 a pop. And then because it was taking ages to get tickets for this other stadium, but we did finally manage to get them. But we walked up to that auditorium place, went through security, and then showed them the tickets for the stadium. They said, "Oh, it's the wrong tickets." So we walked out, and it wasn't until we were halfway up the road that we went, "Oh, I've got those tickets in my bag." So we missed out on that. I ended up giving that to two other fans that were walking down the road and just said, "Here, boys, if you get nowhere to watch the game, here's 2 tickets for that auditorium place." Yeah. And
would you say that was a heat that caused that, Scotia, or was it alcohol consumption?
Probably a combination of both, to be fair, because I don't know why it never clicked to either of us at the time, but that was
It clicked to me,
€47.
Scotia, when I came out.
It's €47 down this morning, but well. And then, yeah, the Thursday, even though you're coming back off a defeat, the Thursday was an absolute cracking day as well. Just kind of walking about the city, seeing wee bits of it that we hadn't seen before. Sent you a couple of videos and stuff. Yeah, I had a really good time. What I will say is, what I noticed is that all the Frankfurt fans that were walking about on the Thursday, it didn't seem as happy as I thought they would be for winning the trophy. If that was us, we would still all be bouncing around the streets and stuff. So I was quite surprised that they were so subdued in their victory. But yeah, no, it was an absolutely fantastic trip. Friday was a wee bit of a whirlwind into Faro because we had travelling all the time, so not much to report from the Friday. But the amount of folk that we met out there, like from Vancouver, we met a boy from the Dartford Loyal, and Faro on the Friday. Met an old boy in Faro as well, just chatting away. It was an absolute wonderful experience, and the hospitality from all the civilians was top notch. Everyone that we came across, I know I mentioned there that folk in the other stadium, the Sevilla Stadium, had a bit of aggro with the stewards and police, but I didn't really feel that. I know what the Spanish police can be like, so didn't really ever come into any trouble with them. So all in all, it was a fantastic trip, and just got disappointed that I'm back home now.
Yeah, I know. You're a bit on the Frankfurt fans, mate. If it was the other way around and we'd won on that Thursday, a lot of people would have missed their flight home. I am positive there would still be a lot of people just now trying to get home. Ali, your thoughts on it? I know Scotia's wrapped it all up a wee bit there, but it makes a change from you doing that and leaving him in nothing to say. So what was your takes on the whole trip, mate?
The whole thing was fantastic. I mean, we went... Well, if most folk know, we went via East Midlands to Faro in a bus, and even the drive down to East Midlands in the motor, I had the scarf flying out the car, and there was lorries flashing me and folk beeping the horn, and it was brilliant going down there. We did a pod in a service station as we started. These guys come hurling in and started shouting, run our way, and all that's because I could see his scarf. And just getting to the plane, because I don't know if many folk have flown for East Midlands Airport. It's not a big airport, and me and Scotia in the security queue, instantly somebody recognised us off the podcast. So the English must have thought, who are these two clowns? And then you get through security, and it was honestly, so many bears, man. It was unbelievable. All the sombreros singing the songs, got a pint bought for us. And I just, in the journey, even the Frankfurt fans, Scotia, we met on the bus. We got a bus through. We didn't get to Seville on the Monday till it was after midnight. There was about 10 Frankfurt fans in our bus. Outstanding, boys. They were brilliant, brand new. Just all I really enjoyed the Tuesday because you didn't have the game the Tuesday night, so you didn't have that. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. What happens if this all goes tits up?
You definitely enjoyed yourself on the Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, me and Scotia were like, we'll keep it quite easy on the Tuesday, and we did to a point. And we were down this bar, and Scotia bought a beer, but he also, Scotia, he'll bring something else up as well. It was some kind of gin cocktail. I don't even know what it was.
I think it was Tanqueray. I think it was a big glass of Tanqueray.
Brought this thing up, and they don't do like 25mm measures out there. It's basically pour it in and see what happens. And that kind of switched us. We met boys for the pub as well. Obviously, Tav's brother, Tav's mum. It was fantastic. I was kicking a football about a square at one point as well. I thought it was back to when I was 18 again. The whole thing was fantastic. And obviously the result didn't go away, but there's some amount of stories. Just talking to all the Bears out there. We met a guy that looked like Gary Boland, and we got a picture of him in Scotia. It was like Gary Boland and Marco Negri or Neil Oliver on tour. It was some of the stories were brilliant, and some of the guys you met out there, and you get speaking to them, and Seville's it's a fantastic city to go to Seville, but it's one of these cities where you can just go around corners and it can be quite quiet sometimes, and there's wee bars everywhere, and you'd be walking around the city sometimes, and just a Rangers fan would walk towards you. You don't know who the guy is, but you would just give each other that wee kind of look saying, "Who are you?" It was a good togetherness, I thought, by the Rangers fans. And like I said to you, a lot of folk were waiting on Rangers fans out there doing something so they could bash us over here. Every man and their dog, the press, everyone was waiting for it. And then for the Mayor of Seville to come out and say, best support they've ever seen. it's true. The Rangers fans and the Frankfurt fans as well that we met as well were fantastic. It was a carnival atmosphere. The weather was outstanding, probably too hot, but yeah. I'll look back in years to come and say, Christ, I was there. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. And it's now giving me a wee bug to do European trips. And I would love the four of us next season if we could get together to do a Club at 22 European trip, because honestly, lads, that was something special. It really was. And I'm just glad we could do a wee blog and bring an insight to it, because a lot of boys have come up to us and said it was quite good, but we did try our best. We're not professionals, me and Scotia. We are the B team of this podcast, but we did try our best.
Well, mate, I'll say on recording, and I have said it before, mate. The videos were superb, man. That you sent over, it was better than I thought you would do it, and that's no disrespect to you. I'm not a professional. None of us are professionals here. I know, but it was great. And Ryan, that we weren't there, and it was. But bittersweet's probably too strong a term when we were seeing the videos back. But for the boys to do what they done and to share it all with us, and it was brilliant. And just quickly, the reason I didn't put the thing up about them meeting Tav's brother and Tav's mum, because Ali just kept saying, I just gave Tav's mum a cuddle. So he must have repeated that about 8 times.
Do you know what I said to Tav's mum? I said to Tav's mum, and I was absolutely pissed. I was like, honestly, he's an absolute credit to you.
She must be like, she must be like, oh, thanks very much. I'm so glad you approve. But Ryan, the lads done the pod proud.
They did. They said their videos were excellent. Done a really good job. And yeah, see the Tuesday when their videos were good, but by God, our group chat was absolute gold. Not broadcastable, but absolute gold. Ali knows what I want. That's all I'm going to say. But it was. I mean, they done really well. I actually thought they'll go over there and they'll do one video and then they'll be hammered and you won't get anything after. And fair play to them, they really done a really good job. And I mean, the videos went down a bomb, and you can tell how many people appreciated the kind of insight into the atmosphere and just the whole journey, really. So yeah, they done it excellent. But well done and giving Tav's mum credit for bringing her son up. Right, that's good, Ali.
I know, she must be like, what are you talking about? But no, genuinely, it was superb. The response to it was even better. It really was. The response was, it kind of blew my mind how quickly it took off. I was like, whoa, what's happened here? Like, it was absolutely great, and it was great to have an insight off it. And the videos and the wee bits in the group chat and that, and as cliche as it sounds, it kind of made you feel like you were part of the whole experience, and I really did appreciate it. I was the same as Ryan. I thought, I'll be lucky if we get part 1 out of you. I didn't expect 4 parts to happen, so no, well done to you lads, honestly, absolutely superb. Right, before we move on, a word from our sponsors. Summer is here, the sun is shining, shirts are off, and your friends at Manscaped are here to make sure your beach balls are as smooth as Floridian sand. Dive headfirst into summer by joining the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for summer by going to manscaped.com and use the code CLUB@22 for 20% off and free shipping. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Cop Reviver ball toner, which is Scotia's favourite, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Take a look at the Manscape Shears 2.0, a package that has everything you need to look pristine: nail cutters, tweezers and grooming scissors. With a performance package, your balls will be ready to impress, but make sure you cover the rest with the Shears 2.0 and you'll be ready to perform from head to toe. So go get 20% off and free shipping by using the code CLUB@22 at manscaped.com. This is the summer to turn your package into the full package with Manscaped. Thank you again to Manscaped for their continued support. Their products are superb. They sent us some fresh boxers, and I rather like mine, actually. I think mine are rather good. They're very comfortable. I like
the wee gold bit in the middle.
Yeah, me too. Mine's got a whole gold band on the top of it, man. They are particularly comfortable. I did quite like them. I can't wear them at my Rangers game though, because I did wear them on that Wednesday night, so I'm never going to be able to wear them again.
Oh,
I won't be able to do that. Did you use your shears and your trimmers before you went to sunny Seville? No,
I did, because no, we did. I shaved Scotia for him because we knew the heat would be extreme. So I said to Scotia, "Look, Scotia, I'll need to shave you here to save you." And that's what happened. We didn't give you that part. We didn't give you part 5.
Is that on Scotia's OnlyFans?
That'll be on
Scotia's
OnlyFans.
That'll be in that one.
Yeah, but no, thank you, Manscaped, again for the continued support for us and for their support this season. They have been superb with us, so thank you very much, Manscaped. Go use their code, get yourself ready for summer. So on to happier footballing times, the Scottish Cup final. 13 years, am I right? 13 years since we've won the Scottish Cup, which is ludicrous when you consider what we seen when we were growing up as Rangers fans. To go 13 years without winning that trophy, it was well overdue. It was a tough watch at times. However, the day before was Jimmy Bell's funeral, and they had just been left pretty devastated by the loss of the Europa League. However, after watching it back, I don't often say things like this, but Craig Gordon deserves some amount of credit, man. He kept them in that game. He made some incredible saves. He really did. And obviously at the game, it's a bit high emotion and whatever. So, but he was great. I genuinely thought he was brilliant. Ryan, I'll come back to you again, mate. As I say, you weren't on the post match. Was a tough 90 minutes, mate. But in extra time, my man Ryan Jack summons his inner Bert Conterman, mate, to release a thunderbolt at Hampden to get us in the lead, and the finish from Scott Wright genuinely is just as impressive. It is a cracking finish, an absolute daisy cutter into the corner. It was superb. I know. I nearly got us took off air there. Everybody will now know that I don't edit these podcasts. But anyway, mate, I think we thoroughly deserved the win, even in 90 minutes. I think Gordon kept them in it, but to do it in the way we did in extra time with 2 goals, it was a good way to finish off a season, mate.
Yeah, it was, and the team deserved it. They deserved it because there was only one team wanting to win that cup final. I was quite surprised at how Hearts set up and how they played throughout the game. I think they had that one chance where Tav's just had a wee brain fart at the back post and the boys kind of hit the outside of the post, I think he did. Apart from that, I don't remember them doing anything really and really threatening us either. It was all to do with what we were doing. It was a wee bit of a lack of cohesion in our play in the first half, and we just looked a bit frustrated. But we're the only team trying to create chances, and the only team that were trying to win that cup. I won't lie to you and say that I was confident, because when I was just thinking the way the game had went on Wednesday and the feeling around the support, I thought maybe this just isn't going to be our season, and maybe it's going to be. It reminded me of the 10-in-a-row season when we were going for 10 and we lost it, and then we were playing Hearts in the cup final at Celtic Park of all places, and we lost that as well. That's what it kind of reminded me of. The feeling amongst the support was very deflated. Going into Hampden, I've never been in a cup final and felt like that before. The players did well. They lifted themselves up. They raised their game, and they got us over the line. And the extra time, they just blew Hearts away. They got their rewards. Ryan Jack's finish, as soon as he tees it up, I know it's in. I know it's in because he's got that in his locker. He can hit a volley, Ryan Jack. And my favourite type of goal, just have a shot, hit it. And Scott Wright, again, domestically, I think there is something with him. I have U-turned on him again. I think there's something there with him, whether it's an impact player but domestically he's got it. I wouldn't think of him for the Champions League or for Europe next year. I don't think he's got that level to his game, but there's definitely a player in there. There's definitely something I would keep and look to utilise next season. And he finished his chance brilliantly, and he deserved it. And yes, I was terrified that this team would once again be, as we said, the bridesmaid and not the bride. And we have not. I know it's 13 years since they've won the Scottish Cup, but that's the first trophy that the Rangers support have seen in the flesh for 12 years. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge thing for me. And I said that to my dad. He's like, "Oh, last season." And I'm like, "That was closed door." I was like, "Nobody's seen that trophy unless you went to the trophy room or whatever." And that's the first time they've actually won a game in front of fans that we had to and lifted a trophy in front of us. And that felt special to me. I had a wee tear in my eye. I was probably just emotional because of Wednesday, but I did have a wee tear in my eye on Saturday because I stood in Hampden and I just thought, God, I would love to have seen me the last time I was in here and we lifted a trophy, and the team deserved it, and that's the monkey off their back. the ones that stay and the ones that go for it again next season, the monkey's off their back now. More trophies, please, Rangers.
Yes, absolutely, man. 100% agree with that. 12 years since we've seen it in the flesh. I mean, it's honestly just absolutely crazy. It really is. Scotia. Well, I've lost my train of thought there because I was thinking about the cups. Aye, so Ryan mentioned there though the early chance that Hearts had within the first 10 minutes, it rocked Rangers, and I'm so surprised Hearts decided we won't go after them. We're just going to let them sit off, and they kind of paid their price. It took us time. It did take us time to get back into a groove, probably maybe expected, but we thoroughly deserved the win.
Yeah, I think so. I think that wee chance, it was one of these ones that Sims isn't thinking he's going to get to it, so he doesn't really have time to adjust his body. But it was a bit of a let-off for us because, like Ryan was mentioning there, the atmosphere, it wasn't overly subdued, but there was definitely a wee undercurrent of, right, if we don't do this today, this season could turn out to be fairly disastrous in terms of not coming away with any silverware at all. And it kind of gave me the memories back to, similar to what Ryan was saying about the 10 in a row, but back to 2008, when we went into the Scottish Cup final, and right, that was against Queen of the South, so you felt a bit more confident at the time, but there was still a wee feeling that if this doesn't go our way, it's going to be a really unsuccessful season. But no, look, I've watched back the majority of the game now, and yeah, I think once we kind of got over a bit of the hump in the first half, Rangers were the absolute dominant team. I think if an Alfie or a Roof were playing, there's probably about 3 chances where Bassey whips in balls from the corner that Aribo and Diallo both head over. Aribo does it twice and Diallo does it once. That's Alfie or Roof, and those goals are going in. We were unlucky hitting the post a few times just before extra time came in. But I think the subs that Gio made towards the end made a difference, with Wright coming on and Jack coming on as well. And it just helped us. And yeah, over the course of the period, we definitely deserved to win the game. And were it not for Craig Gordon, then we would have won that game within the 90 minutes.
Yeah, I thought Craig Gordon he was by far Hearts' best player, which kind of tells you everything about the way the game went. Scotia, Ali, Scotia mentioned the man of the moment right now, Calvin Bassey. I mean, I'm struggling to think of a player that I've seen improve as quickly as that while being at Rangers, and maybe improve. He's had a few shaky games, yes, but from then he just has built on his physicality, his touch, his passing, his reading of the game. Still a wee bit dodgy heading, yes, but left backs don't need to header the ball that much, and that's where I think he should play. But he almost pulled the team through it at points on Saturday. I'm struggling out of ways to praise him. Rangers are going to need to do everything they can to keep this lad.
Yeah, he's potentially our prize asset now. If you look at who we've got, I mean, most of our, you want to say blue chip players on a year left in a contract. Bassey's got 2 now, but I'd put him up the top of the list now because his performances in Europe well, there he goes. Folk will know who Calvin Bassey is. There will be folk that'll have a bite of him in the summer. We need to tie him down. We need to put him in a contract that says, you're one of our number 1 players, Calvin, not a squad player, because I'd assume he's on a squad player salary, which probably a good salary, but in the grand schemes of it being at Rangers is probably a lower salary compared to your Goldsons, etc. that are leaving. So there's a lot of players leaving Rangers this summer on big money. So there will be money to reinvest in player contracts, and Bassey's the first one I'd tie up. The transformation in that guy's scary. To play left centre back, left back as well. And it's what is his best position? I mean, I like him left back, to be honest, because he can just the size of him, the power of him. He's got a trick or two in his locker as well. He can now put a ball into the box. He just seems to improve every game. And I floated the questions to you, Carney, when we done the post match. I know Ryan wasn't there, but I floated the question: if Big Hollander never get injured this season, would we have seen the potential of Calvin Bassey as he is now? Possibly not. I know Borna was up and down and they made good games there, but I don't think we would have. And again, a kind of twisted way of thinking about it, when I talked about Sakala missing that goal before we was going to the Europa League final in terms of preparation, Big Phil Hollander getting injured for us has uncovered a gem for us this season, because his development has been frightening. I'll just fling that question. I know Ryan wasn't there, but I'll fling it at Ryan. Do you agree, Ryan, that Big Phil getting injured and Calvin coming in may have been a blessing in disguise? And that's not me saying I'm glad Hollander got injured or not. I'm not. I'm just saying, just the way it's happened, would we have seen Bassey develop if Hollander was say fit for the whole season?
I think I think it must be a unanimous no. We wouldn't have seen his potential, and we wouldn't have seen him flourish. He's obviously always had this in his game, but we wouldn't have seen him at centre half. I think we've covered that before, where he had that bad game at Sparta, and I think as a support, most people were just like, yeah, he can't do it. He can't do it at centre half, and we had to play him. We didn't have another option when Balogun was injured. We had to play Bassey at centre half, put Borna at left back, and yeah, maybe if Hollander was fit, Borna would have fell out of form, and you might have seen Bassey at left back. But it's how composed he is at centre half, Ali. He can play both positions, and I'm the same as yourself. I prefer him at left back, because I think he's an out ball, and he does so much more in terms of the way we play as an overlapping left back, as an overlapping wing back. So I think he's brilliant at left back. But yeah, we wouldn't have seen that potential if Hollander hadn't got injured. And I did say a couple of weeks ago, I'm concerned at the level Calvin Bassey is playing at now, because he is man of match in Old Firm games, Old Firm Cup games, Old Firm away game, Europa League games, Europa League finals, Scottish Cup finals. He won't be here long if he is playing to that level. And I hate to bring him up, but the last player that really probably played at that level was Virgil van Dijk. And for me, big shout here, Calvin Bassey has the potential to do that. And if he goes down south, we need to put a big sell-on clause on his contract.
I agree. I couldn't agree anymore. And even Ali, you were saying about his tricks and that he's got. There was one that he was really unlucky with down on the left-hand side, and he must have skinned about 3 of them and then just couldn't get the ball into the box and ended up losing it a throw-in, I think. But yeah, you're running out of ways to describe the guy. He's very coachable, and that's what you hear from the Rangers coaching staff, that he's constantly asking questions. He wants to learn, and I generally think he can go on and do what he wants. I think Rangers are going to need to tie him down on a contract, and they're going to need to give him quite serious money, which again will be testing for him. However, I think his mentality has shown that he'll be able to put up that, because he's arguably going to be the highest ranked player that we have at the club in terms of transfer value, because no offence, you're not getting 25 million for Alfredo Morelos anymore. So, but I mean, that's the talking points. People are talking 20, 25 million for Calvin Bassey, and I think that's your starter. It really is. These teams have the money to pay this, and Rangers have to protect themselves, because Bassey has just been an absolute revelation. I hope he doesn't go. I hope we get at least another year out of him, because it'd be tremendous to see him progress. But Rangers have to do the business now and definitely get him tied up. Right, so Scotia, just before we move on, how crucial was that win on Saturday for the kind of feel good factor to come back to the club after the disappointment and to head us off into the season on a high?
That was very crucial, I think. Like I said, it could have turned, we didn't win that game on Saturday there, then you need to judge the season as a whole as a disappointment and as a failure. I think at the start of the season, you asked the question, what would be a success? And I'm sure I said at least a cup, go further than we have done in Europe, in the league, obviously. Now, the league, obviously, that's done, and that's been a disappointment. But we've got to the Europa League final, which is far further than I expected us to get to, and we've won that cup. So overall, it's probably a kind of 50-50, half success, half not, in terms of the league. But as well with the cup, that team have been rotten at cups and domestically over the last few years, getting put out, and they were always getting that question put over them that they can't handle these cup games. Now, hopefully they've done that. They've got that silverware, like Ryan was saying, silverware in front of fans, that can kind of push them on for next season, because like you mentioned as well, I think we need to be looking at the deeper stages of European football next season, be that the Europa League or the Conference League. But I think that's where we need to set our standards for.
Champions League, Scotia, you forgot about that.
But in all honesty, we are not going to get to the latter stages of the Champions League as much as I would love that to happen.
Never know. I didn't think we'd ever get a final again. Just saying. But yeah, no, I thought it was just crucial. And also, well done, Ali and Scotia, because your two hoodoo is over as well as Rangers at Hampden together. So that's a good thing.
I raised Scotia so high in the sky when we scored that second goal. I was like, the hoodoo's broken, Scotia. And I lifted him up.
What's the wee guy that comes and blesses Simba? What's that guy's name in The Lion King? Did he show up there to give Scotia a wee?
Rafiki.
Yeah,
Rafiki. That's his name. Couldn't remember his name. The wee dust across the brow.
Oh, no, see the image I've got in my head now. Jeez, man.
I know. Every time you see Simba now, you'll just see Scotia's face on top of it. It was brilliant. So before we finish up, lads, we're obviously into the summer now. Gio has said he will be looking to do business quite quickly over the summer, but we'll start with the outs. So Ramsey and Diallo look like they're both gone. Nothing's been fully confirmed by the club yet, but their social media posts kind of suggest that they are. Goldson doesn't look like he's going to sign a contract, and Davis has been linked with Motherwell and St Mirren, which is a bit crazy, to be honest. I suppose my question is, Ryan, I'll come to you first. You keep Davis at the team, and no real surprise in the rest of them going. However, I'll still stand by Goldson will never play for a club like Glasgow Rangers ever again.
No, of course he won't. He'll never play. We've said this 17 times, but I think Goldson will know he'll never play for a club like that. There's something else that's pulling Goldson away, and we'll find out because he'll say it, whether it's social media or an interview. He will tell us why he's left and he's not signed a contract. Could be family, could be looking for a last payday, and Rangers won't break their wage structure. And I get it. The guy had heart problems. He needs to look after himself and his family, and maybe he's just looking at that, and that's fine. Connor Golson's been a great player for us, a great signing for us. The games he's played, I don't know, is it 60 games a season or something? The guy must be playing something around that. He's been a great servant to us, but I did say, I think I was the only one out of the four of us who said I wouldn't renew his contract. Rangers didn't win the league because their defence was poor this season, and I know we had this Europa League run, and I know we won the Scottish Cup, but we need to win trophies now. It's time to kick on, and I think it's time to move on. And Connor Goldson, yeah, he's been a great player, but I think Gio needs to bring in his own players now. He needs to make his own mark, and if it's getting rid of Stephen Davis, who I would keep, I trust Gio. If this is the way Gio wants to go, remember, our assistant manager is Dave Voss, who was, I believe, the head of the Ajax Youth Academy, I think he was. Mm-hmm. They're maybe looking at things and going, they want to bring younger players in. So I trust Gio. I trust him to bring his own team in. And he's done well with players who weren't his. If you look at what he's done this season, this was Stephen Gerrard's team. And he's done well with them. Yes, we lost the league. We totally threw that away, and that'll frustrate Gio and his team, but he has done well this season, and we got a trophy at the end of the season. But I am excited to see what talent Gio brings in and what he builds. And I think it needs to start from the goalkeeper and the defence. I think he needs to bring at least a goalkeeper and two centre-halves in.
Yeah, Ryan's led me quite nicely on, actually, to the potential wins. I think there's no real shock in the outs. I think Davis is a wee bit of shock for me, but I think it's probably more Davis' decision than it is the club's, because he can't be guaranteed first team football now. No. And it's no disrespect to Davis. These things happen to footballers. He's been a tremendous servant to this club, and if he does move on, we wish him all the best. Same as Goldson. Genuinely, I wish Goldson all the best, because he's been superb for us. He really has. He's been amazing more times than he's been poor. So, but yeah, I think Davis was when I won, I heard, I was like, that's a bit of a shocker, but he might want full-time football. His body might need full-time football, if that makes any sense. But the ends, Ryan said, you start with a goalkeeper. Do you give, we're all presuming that McGregor's going to retire. He might stay on. However, if he does stay on, I don't think he's number one anymore, which I think might put him in the same bracket as Davis, that he might need to play all the time. I think, do we give John McLaughlin a year? And if McGregor does stay, I still think we could be recruiting in the goalkeeping department.
Yeah, I think we still need to bring a goalkeeper in. I personally would start with John McLaughlin as number one next season. I think he's good enough.
Coming for crosses, mate. For crosses.
Well, I bet you were all absolutely shiting yourself when we conceded that corner. 8 minutes. I turned to Scotia. We looked at each other and went, please no.
I know.
John McLaughlin comes and takes it, and then the whole of us just...
It was Shagger.
Believe.
It was McGregor that was in goals at that point.
Not 89 minutes.
The
No,
corner
it
receiver.
wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Was there not one from McGregor? Come on.
Right, get him
At the end
off.
of the
Honestly,
extra time.
Carl, you can't remember.
No, it was definitely McLaughlin.
Oh, right.
Definitely.
89 minutes, Scotia. That's not even in extra time yet.
Yeah, true. Well, I was actually feeling
You been
Fine,
drinking? All right.
it was
Scotia,
McLaughlin, but I'm
mute
sure I think
yourself.
right at the very end with a corner.
Right, anyway, after that, rambling in the corner there. Honestly, man. Honestly. No, John McLaughlin, I think he commands his box well. Like I was saying there, he comes for corners, corner kicks, he takes the ball out of the air. Very good with the ball at his feet. I've said before, I think he brings a calmness to the back line as well. They're confident with him behind. So, I mean, John McLaughlin, I'm trying to think what age he is. He must be about 34, 35, John McLaughlin. I'd give him a go. I would. But I'd be looking in the background at who's potentially the next Rangers goalkeeper. I don't think we need to rush into doing what Celtic did and buy Barkas for $5 million. John McLaughlin's more than capable. McCrory's there in the background too. Andy Firth, obviously. But no, we'll bring a goalkeeper in. I was very impressed with John Suter at the weekend. I thought he was Hearts' best player. I thought he's just a no-nonsense defender. Good with the ball at his feet too. Can ping the diagonal pass, which Goldson does. I don't know if he is a replacement for Goldson, but I can see him in that Rangers team next year, John Suter. So I was impressed with him. Yeah, I think we need 2 centre-halves. And then you go into the midfield and strikers. The right side of that Rangers midfield, we've tried umpteen players there. Hadji, Arfield, Aribo, Kamar Roof. We've went through them all, to be honest. So midfield potentially 2 to 3 in there, 2 strikers as well.
Just go. Sorry, Ali, if you finished. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, because I just think I think there's going to be 2 blue chip players leaving in the summer at least. But we have money there, Rangers. We have money because we've bankrolled a lot of money for that. Obviously the Patterson sale and our European run. So there will be money for Gio to spend in the summer, or I bloody hope so.
Well, there should be. There definitely should be. I actually thought there's been a lot of very good seamless links tonight, and we generally don't plan podcasts very often, but it's been kind of linked on. And I thought Ali was going to stop right at the right time, and then that's why I jumped in on top of him there. Sorry, Ali, that's my fault. But he did mention Suter, Scotia, and you being the defender at heart, mate. I think the replacement for Goldson, yes, but I don't think he won't be anywhere near as reliable as Goldson because he does have injury concerns. So even though Suter is coming in, and I definitely think he'll do a job here because I was impressed by him as well on Saturday, I think we're going to need more, and I would be looking to move Balogun might another year maybe, but I'd be looking to move Hollander on as well.
Yeah, the centre half position's fairly interesting because I get Suter coming in. Obviously, Katic has been confirmed that he's coming back for loan, and they're going to have a look at him. But I think you've maybe got that position with Suter, Katic, and King as being one of the centre halves at play. I think we definitely need to bring someone else in. I know that boy Duheke that we were always linked with over the last sort of season and a half. He signed for Union Berlin a few weeks back, so he's a no-go now. But I certainly think we do need another centre half in. You know, you've obviously got Bassey there as well that can play in that left centre-back slot. But I think potentially we need a left-back as cover as well, because I think Barisic might be off as well. I think out of Kamara, Barisic, Aribo and Kent, at least 2 of them will be gone. I know that wee boy Maxwell could come back from loan, but I don't know, if he'd be how good an option as the cover for left-back he'll be. So potentially look at a left-back. Like Ali says, a right mid. I think we definitely need a right midfielder. Definitely need a striker, as the end of this season's proven, because you can't rely on Roof. Itten's not really worked out, and Sakala's like 1 out of 4 games he shows up in. So I think we definitely need a striker. And then something that I was thinking about as well is you obviously if Hadji or Kent and Aribo go, you need replacements for them in, because you don't know how well Hadji's going to come back from his injury off, because he's been out for an awful long time. But I know before he was injured, he was playing in that kind of 10 position. So I would expect him to slot back in there. But because he's been out for a while, does he come back at the same level that he was? So we definitely, I think we'll need a replacement for some of the blue chip players that will leave as well.
Yeah, 100%. Look, we've got summer coming up to go into full detail of all this. As I say, we could potentially go on another hour here with just sitting talking about transfers. We'll bring you more shows over the summer, but we will get into things once we get confirmation. I would imagine you'll start getting something towards the end of this week, or the club confirming who's not staying and who's getting moved on, etc., without the kind of players doing it themselves through their social media. The club will confirm all this. So we've got summer, we've got shows coming up that will definitely get into that. But for tonight, it will do us. So as always, please like the videos and subscribe to the channel. We will be back with our live pod on Friday with our usual time, 6:30 p.m. on Friday. So come get involved, get your questions in, as we're going to discuss kind of player of the year, best moments of the year, worst moments of the year, all the usual kind of stuff. Just a kind of relaxed podcast. So get your questions in, get involved in the comments as always. Ali, thank you very much for tonight, mate.
No problem. It was good to have the four of us back.
It was.
I know I wanted a quiet week. I forgot my Fraser's booked me to go and see Alan Partridge tomorrow night at the Hydro. So he's a big fan of the Diallo song, Alan Partridge. You got a joke there.
How long did it take you to think that up, mate? That's good.
Do you like that? I'll just end in that there, right?
That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop moment.
That is, mate. Yes, that is cracking, man. Brilliant. Scotia, thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Now that's Ali's best joke of the season, because usually it's terrible.
I think that's the best
joke
of his entire life, mate. I don't think
anyone.
Where did that come from? Need to send you away to Spain more often if you're coming back with stuff like that.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And Ryan, thank you as always, mate. And your cat made an appearance tonight. People love your cat, mate.
Yes, she made an appearance. She's happy with Rangers season as well. So I am. Do you know what, Ali? I'm going to use that. I was slagging you, but I'm going to use that. I'm going to go down to the pub and give it that as well. I'll pretend I'm going to see Alan Parsons as well. You'll need to put your hand in your wallet for that. That Hydro's, I know, something like £6 a pint or something in there.
Plus, I think I'll just get him to pay for me. He's taking me, so it's all right.
But say he's minted, mate. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be absolutely fine.
Pretty steep. Cheers, boys. I'm getting used to sleeping again and no anxiety getting into Thursdays and weekends. So yes, have a nice weekend this weekend. Hope everybody enjoys their Rangers free weekend.
Yeah, as I say, we will be back Friday, Ryan. Will be back Friday as well, I think, potentially. But I think it will be all four of us, hopefully, again on Friday. So last but not least, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Again, thank you for support over the season. Congratulations to all the winners. I'm glad you have all enjoyed that and our decision to do that, and keep your eyes peeled for more things to come, that's for sure. But until Friday, we have been and we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Thank you, everybody. Good night.